Hello pilots and welcome back to another X-Wing flight video brought to you by Out of Arc Gaming. As always, my name is Phil and today we have managed to drag James away from his Legion, get him onto TTS and have a game for us to actually watch, whilst he also talks through it with us. And he is in fact joining us to tell us why he picked Resistance again.
I'm here. I chose Resistance because I like the Resistance. I also like the T70, and this was an opportunity to try out 4 of them on the table, which I've not been able to do for a while.
Yeah, and it's very scary that you can fit 4 on the table. But we have Darren on the left-hand side, obviously yourself on the right. So let's run through the list. Darren is running an amazing Empire list, if I do say so myself. I'm a little bit biased, but we have 3 Sigma Squadron Ace Phantoms, all with Juke, biocontrol system, and targeting computer. And filling in the last couple of points, we have a Black Squadron Ace TIE Fighter, just for funsies there, really. But that's a cool list, if you ask me.
Yeah, those Phantoms are hard to pin down.
Yeah, and they just don't, obviously, where they're not standard anyway, you just don't see them very often. I can't wait for them to be standard again, to be honest, and see what other tricks or pilots they might give them. So it'll be quite interesting to see. But you've touched on it. You've got 4 T70s. Explain to us.
Yes.
What
so I have, as you said, 4 T70 X-Wings for the Resistance. I've got Ello Asty with Predator, Marksmanship, Advanced Optics, R4 Astromech, S-Foils, and a Jamming Beam. I've got Nien Nunb with Predator, Advanced Optics, R4 Astromech, Integrated S-Foils, and Jamming Beam. Temmin Wexley, this is the Heroes of Hope version, so the subtitle Black 2. And he has Predator, Ferrosphere Paint, Advanced Optics, R4 Astromech, S-Foils, and a heavy laser cannon. And filling in as the cheap little X-Wing that she is, we've got Zay Versio with Predator, Advanced Optics, Integrated S-Foils, and a Jamming Beam.
Nice. And Zay's one of the new ones from Hot Shots and Aces 2, if I remember rightly.
So her ability is, while you defend, if the attacker is damaged, you may reroll 1 defense die. Decent ability, but the fact that she is only 4 points means that I can take like the commander version of Wexley at 6 points and still be able to fit in 4 ships.
I mean, that is crazy. A T70 at 4 points that's named and has an ability as well is pretty good.
It's more than pretty good. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, I touched on it in the Resistance breakdown video that came out last week about the T70 being the absolute workhorse of the Resistance, and part of that is just they're just really good.
Yeah. Like, they've got decent health, average defense dice, 3 attack dice, and they can do some funny stuff, which we'll probably get to a little later. I do want to point out the scenario we're doing is it was Assault the Satellite Array, isn't it?
Yes, Assault the Satellite Array. So 5 objectives, and it is be within range of them to score. So having multiple ships for this is obviously going to be a benefit. No chance of us denying someone else by being 1v1 there, because we're all small base ships, which is quite nice. Obviously medium large would just go, that's mine. But it's going to be interesting. Obviously you've set yourself up in a classic firing line.
I mean, I tend to do this against stuff where I have no idea where they're going to go. I'll stick to the middle of the board, see where they are, and then sort of split off in that direction if needed. And with these Phantoms, with their decloak and then their move, it is definitely one of the harder ones to pin down.
Yeah, and we did forget the decloak was forgotten in the system phase a moment ago, but we did.
Yeah, there's a little undo there. That's fine.
Yeah, again, Phantoms don't see the light of day much, which is a shame because I love them. But yeah, I mean, that is a scary firing line that Darren's coming up against there. 4 T70s, as you said, they are just incredibly solid and quite difficult to take down as well. Oh, that's an interesting move there. That TIE fighter splitting off from the group.
Yeah, I mean, he can't keep up with the Sigma squadrons, so I guess he's off to claim some objectives on his own.
Which I think is a good idea, because at the moment those Sigmas look like they're going to want to try and fly in formation, which is going to make it tricky to be able to hold many objectives. And if that TIE fighter can sneak in behind your T-70s, that could be quite advantageous.
Yes.
So
I suppose I'll probably take this early opportunity to go through kind of the plan with my T-70s.
Yes.
So normally, Nien Nunb, you want to slap on the old, I'm bang on the name right now, pattern analyzer.
Yeah.
Not in this case. Everyone, as you can see, has the advanced optics, which is you can spend a focus to change a blank to a hit when you're attacking.
Pretty
Seems
powerful.
good, but then how do you change any focus results you've got? That is why I'm using this version of Temmin Wexley. So this version of Snap is at the start of the engagement phase, each friendly T-70 X-Wing at range 0 to 3 may gain 1 strain token to flip its S-Foils card. If it does, that ship gains 1 calculate. So if you look currently, it's a little difficult to see, but the token is also on the base of them. All of their wings are shut. So the idea being, move into attack. At the start of engagement, Temmin tells everyone to open up their wings, so they're back at full firepower, and they get the calculate. So you got a calculate and a focus, and advanced optics, and it is incredibly reliable. The downside being the strain, but they've got R4. Well, most of them have R4 Astromechs. They didn't have enough points to take that as well. Helps.
And they've got a good enough dial anyway in general that you're more than likely to get rid of that strain.
They do. Plus, as soon as they're attacked once, the strain goes away. So even if they do get focused on, it's not a huge detriment.
Yeah. And with the Sigmas, obviously they're flying in formation. They're going to want to be looking to try and focus fire down a T-70 and as quickly as possible.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they have the potential to one-turn a T-70 if it goes well with the evade that they get from decloaking, triggering Juke. They've got the fire control system, they've got the targeting computer, they've got 3 dice attack. If they get into range 1, that's 4 dice juking you. It's very powerful, and especially if you can get all 3 of them guns on, that is going to be pretty good. Had a little bit of an issue there with the decloaking.
Yeah, Darren pressed the wrong thing, but it's fine.
Yeah, we fixed
it
it.
out.
Luckily, we weren't that far in, so it was easy to remember how to get it back to where it was supposed to be.
I mean, as strong as my little advanced optics, Temmin calculate stuff is, a free evade every turn and Juke is still very scary.
Yeah, it is absolutely brilliant. I mean, my biggest qualm with the Phantom, and as I said, it's for ship chassis, it's my favourite ship chassis in the game. They're very expensive, each one of them. They are 6 points apiece for the Sigma Squadron, so that's without an ability. And they don't have the biggest loadout. I believe it's 9 points of loadout they have.
And how much of that is taken up by Juke?
6 points of that is Juke. So I was just quite fortunate that I was able to slap on fire control and target computer. Like, that's all you can fit on those things. It's very, very tough. And Whisper, who is the ultimate, her loadout is 15 points, which sounds amazing, but the options you have aren't great. So it's difficult to actually fill up that.
Right, so you've got all these points, but you definitely want to take Juke, which leaves you a weird point value for the other upgrade slots. And you go, I may as well just take the cheap things and leave some points unspent.
I mean, back when version 2 came out, you had a crew slot on the Phantom, which was amazing. Obviously, it was slightly different with the way you worked points then. But then they realised that being able to stick Darth Vader onto Whisper was pretty broken.
Yeah, I remember playing against that. That was mean.
Yeah,
They're very dark side of the game designers, but yeah, a little too mean maybe.
so they changed it to Gunner instead, which is all well and good, but most of the gunners that you can then fit on because you've got Juke on there are kind of pointless, really. They don't do anything because it's like, oh, rear arc or oh, turret, and it's like, well, the Phantom has neither of those things.
Yeah, they need some more kind of generic gunners that don't interact with those things. Just something like, I mean, you could take a gunner and just give them like a predator ability, like if the enemy's in bullseye, reroll.
Absolutely.
Something like that.
I mean, you had the gunner card back in version 1, which I can't remember off the top of my head what it did, but I remember that was something that I used to have stapled onto Whisper. I mean, I do remember back early version 2, myself running 3 Phantoms, because I'd managed to pick up 2 more, and I put collision detector on them, which was absolutely brilliant, because you'd be like, oh, I'm going to barrel roll through this rock and it's fine. Well, I'm going to decloak through this rock.
Decloaking through stuff is very handy.
Yeah. That's a really good move you've done there with Ello and Nien turning towards that TIE fighter.
Well, there was a cloud in front of them, and I knew that the TIE was going to be somewhere in that area, and if he was further away, the T-70s still have a boost, and with the wing shut, I also had the barrel roll option.
Yeah.
So I was confident I could land some decent hits on this little guy, and just get him off the board as quick as I could.
I think Darren was hoping that he was going to end up a bit further up the board than that, but you can see exactly what he was trying to do. Oh, that's not a bad attack there, and obviously
this is the old combo. So calculate on the eye.
Yep.
And focus the blank, I think. Oh no, I had Predator for a reroll. That was it.
You went Predator instead, which
Predator
either way, I mean, yeah, may as well use Predator, see if you can save either the calculate or the focus. That is Predator Advanced Optics. Yeah, I like that. That's really good.
It's just consistent. It's what I like when I fly Rey, because her with Rose and Finn and her force ability, it's just consistent hits.
Consistent. If you can sort of mitigate the luck element of the dice and you can create consistency there, that is going to win you more games, I think, than perfect flying.
I mean, how many times have you had a game where you've gone, okay, I'm a range 1, I've got a focus, it's all good, and then you roll like 1 focus result and the rest are blanks, and then you don't know if you want to spend that focus for 1 hit or save it for defense.
And you're there like, oh, I wish I had a target lock. Oh, Black Squadron survived with 1 there.
I'm very impressed by this Black Squadron Ace. I mean, he deserves the title of Ace because he just did 2 pretty big hits.
I mean, he's just got up to 2 T-70s again. I'm maybe in an old rickety bucket, but I'm not going to go down easily. That's pretty good, actually. TIE Fighters,
the Advanced Optics has taken that from a 1 hit to a 2 hit.
Yeah. Because obviously the first evade roll was 2 evades and the evade token. So yeah, the Advanced Optics was the one that pushed that through. So that is making itself useful there already, which is quite good. I mean, obviously Black Squadron's only 2 points, but that's 2 more points that you will hopefully have there.
Yeah, Black Squadron is only 2 points, but if I let him just hang around objectives, he is more than making up his worth.
Yeah. I mean, he's scored 2 points himself. Well, he scored 1 point on his own there because previous round the Sigmas were closer, but he's captured that objective there, which is kept the points fairly even at 4-6 at the moment in your favour.
Yeah. Now here's a question for people in the audience: where are those phantoms gonna go? Are they gonna go like away and then turn in and try and go between the two rocks? Are they gonna go around it? They're going around it. It's where do they go? What do they do?
Yeah. The decloak is so powerful because if they are cloaked when you're going to shoot them, they get 2 additional evades, which is always nice. When they decloak, they get a 2 boost or a 2 barrel roll essentially, unless you're Echo, and then it's really weird and it's all bendy. But then you get your move after, so you could, if you were just doing the 4 straight, you could essentially be doing almost, I think it works out almost like a 7 straight because of the ship base as well, off the decloak. And then you've got the old classic candy cane as well, doing the forward and then the 1 hard. But they've got a pretty solid dial as well, and adding that decloak in there, it can make it tricky, and you do have to sort of be careful with it. But once you sort of figure it and you sort of understand it a bit better, it can just be so powerful and just, again, as I think you found here, really frustrating to predict. I mean, look, the one hard there from red.
Yeah, I was thinking they were gonna maybe try and go through the rocks. So I probably should have done a bank, but I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if Darren had tried to go through the rocks as well, but I like that pushing it further forward and round, flanking you a bit more. That's quite good as well. Green and slightly
grabbing a few locks for their fire control system.
Yes, love fire control system.
We were chatting whilst we were playing this over TTS, and Darren really wanted to target lock Temmin, but then I pointed out that he has the Ferrosphere Paint.
Yeah.
Because with the wings effect and the calculator, it's like, oh, okay, target Temmin. I don't really want to lock him though. Oh.
Yeah, sticking Ferrosphere Paint on there is a brilliant denial play of just saying, well, you can do it, but are you sure you want to? And I've come up against Ferrosphere Paint a few times, and every time I'm just like, oh, can I get an attack or an upgrade that just knocks off a modification, please?
The more abilities that get put in the game that require a target lock or are involved in acquiring one, the more value Ferrosphere Paint gets.
It's essentially the resistance answer. Well, I think a slightly better answer to false transponder codes that the scum have as an illicit.
I think you probably get more use out of it.
Yeah, because false transponder codes is a one-hit wonder, and it's really, really good.
Transponder codes you can trigger yourself when you lock someone, which is quite good if you really need to jam them.
And that's where the slight difference is. But yeah, I think in a way it is the resistance version of that, and I just kind of wish sometimes that some other factions had other bits a little bit like that. But again, it's something that helps to make the flavour of each faction slightly different, where they've got their own tricks and tools. And the resistance, obviously, they're working on a shoestring budget, trying to keep what they've got alive as long as possible. So to have something that is going to make them trickier to lock onto makes perfect sense for their, like, the ethos of that faction.
Now at this point, I figured I only really need one T70 to really nail down Black Squadron Ace, because he was on 1 health at this point. So I've sent 9 up the board for an objective, and I've let Ello close in to try and finish him off.
I mean, your placement at the moment for objective capture is on point. It is very good.
Yeah, so the Sigma's going all the way around, and me being in the middle has meant that I'm doing all right on the objectives.
Yeah. I think that's where Darren's list does struggle a little bit, because you want to fly them you want to fly them quite close.
Yeah, because I mean, normally I would be like, oh no, split up your ships like I've done here. But with these guys, it's just going to be a headache.
Yeah, and against other ships, maybe. If it wasn't against T-70s, I think Darren might have split up. But against T-70s, it's the kind of ship that you do want multiple ships shooting at them at once to try and get them down. I mean, if you had like large base ships in there, I think you could just go use the Phantom to go one-on-one with it a bit more, because you could just reposition around it.
You finish the job.
Come on, we know how tough TIE fighters are. He's going to survive this. I believe in him. I mean, those are good dice, but I still believe in this TIE fighter. I still believe.
It can still happen if he gets all of it.
It's going to happen.
Oh, nearly.
Oh, close. So close to doing that. I mean, he's tanked 3 shots from T-70s.
Yes.
It takes that to take him down, and only 1 damage per shot. So you know what? Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And it was only a 2 points there. That's pretty solid.
Now the Sigmas are going to take their shots.
Yep. As the Nien is out of range, and Darren does have initiative. So, what can these Sigmas do to young Zay Versio?
The other thing I quite like about this is you don't necessarily have to do the wings, because I think in this instance I've just left Zay's wings shut, so I didn't get the strain.
Yeah. Ooh.
That is 3 hits into 2 focuses. I have the focus. I'm pretty sure I spend it at this point. Yeah.
And because Juke happens
Press
first.
There it is.
Yeah, because Juke goes first, and then you get to modify. No effect there, but still 1 shield down on Zay there. Red coming in for a
rare cards where you modify the opponent's defense dice.
Yeah.
And it's always important to remember the timing of that.
Not too bad. Fire control system gonna trigger. Oh, 3 hits again, lovely. And
then Juke.
In comes Juke.
And I have spent my focus.
Yep, 2 shields down and a hull.
Quite a bit of damage, but I've got other ships.
Yeah. And also, I think that's range 2?
This one is, yes. But it's
range 2 through the obstacle, so... So, Darren's choice of adding targeted computer on here with fire control system, really good. I think that is something that... Oh, so close. Down to 1 hull on Zay. Yeah, as I say, I think the choice to add targeted computer and fire control system is
it's a
really good choice. Because the Phantoms don't natively have targeted computer.
I mean, most of the time, if you've got a system slot and you're not trying to do something specific, fire control system is just the go-to.
I mean, it's 2 points. I mean, the fire control system targeted computer combination here is 3 points.
Worth it.
And we've seen it's worth it. Zay's down to 1 hull. And it's only because you modify after I modify, after the Duke modifies.
Yes.
Which is... I mean, it's disappointing, but...
Now, Temmin's taking his shot. Oh no, I do have a calculate, I think, because I took the boost action. So
yeah.
Calculate.
2 hits and a crit. That's not bad at all. 2 evades.
Getting damage on a Phantom through a rock is pretty good, because Darren, quite, I think sensibly, I mean, you've flown these things more than me, but kept all the evade to get the cloak at the end of the round.
Yeah, if it's 1 damage and it's on your shield, I do think it's more important to keep that that evade to cloak for the next round, especially if you look at the position of yellow. That rock is in a bit of an awkward position, so I'm either expecting a decloak forward or a decloak probably to ship left, so up the board to get around there. Red can do whatever, but it depends on if Darren does decide to split or keep them together. Because you could see red and yellow go forward and green go down the board and come the other side of that rock and split around, which could be quite interesting. That's a massive point swing there as well, by the way.
What, 4 points?
So, well, you were... No, that was 5 points you got there.
I was...
Because you were up to 8 points with the previous 2 rounds and the killing of the Black Squadron, and you got another 5 there. So you were literally placed exactly where you needed to be.
I mean, you say that, but now I'm like almost too close to the Phantoms to really maneuver, because I don't have a sharp 1. And in this situation, I kind of want it.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah. Temmin, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Ello's got a...
I mean, Ello and Nien have
a
a decent amount of room to maneuver and come in for an attack. Zay, being on 1 health, I wanted to now sort of shift her focus to objectives.
Yeah, see if you can get her far enough away, claim some objectives, and stave off losing. I mean, she's only 4 points, but I mean, that's big. That really closes the gap. Yeah, Temmin's in a bit of an awkward spot as well, because he's always not close enough to that rock on his right-hand side to swing round it on a hard turn. He'd have to straight or bank past it, I think.
Yeah, I think this is... Yeah, so with the wings shut, the T-70 gets the focus into a red barrel roll, which is what that was.
Carrying along all of those target locks there.
Yep. Just make sure everything moved with her. Did I forget the stress?
No,
okay.
there it is.
Cool.
Yeah, there's red banking in.
And now that I've done that barrel roll, I'm now in the arc of red.
Yes, and red now has a double modded shot there with the focus and target lock, which is just nice. Again, that's another point where firing trust is good.
From the others, so...
But still, Darren is maintaining a really nice formation there with those 3 ships. In a non-scenario game, that would be just incredible.
So yeah, I took a gamble on the direction that they were going to go, and I chose wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if green had have lined up in front of you, that would have been a very powerful shot for both of you. I mean, just absolutely mental. A range 1 shot from both of them at point blank range. And can Temmin do the wings on himself?
He can, yes.
Yeah.
So the wording on that.
Or, not that he necessarily would have needed to, in fact.
3.
Yeah. I mean, he probably would have had bullseye, so he wouldn't necessarily have needed to, other than to have that calculate as an additional insurance. But you've just got a target lock there on yellow, which is, again, it's one of those, if you can't do any other action that's going to be really worth it, get that target lock.
Yeah, that's Ello doing what he does with the white talon roll.
Yeah, we've seen that to great effect in Flight Academy.
Especially in a dogfight situation like Flight Academy, any kind of white way to turn around and stay in the fight is brilliant.
It was just crazy. It's just so much fun. And another reason I keep saying to myself, I need to fly more T-70s or just more resistance, but I always struggle to write lists for the resistance because obviously I tend
There's
to
a lot
fly
of
Empire.
abilities, and there's a lot of ways to make them work with certain upgrades, like in my list here. And you don't want to choose wrong, I think.
Yeah. But we are looking at putting together some content on beginner lists and just sort of like little guidelines of what you can do with the factions. So not entirely sure when we're going to be able to get that to drop, as obviously it's going to be a lot of work on our part, but all of us here at Out of Art Gaming are putting our heads together and writing a few bits, especially for our favoured factions. So looking forward to getting that down, so that might help some of the newer players coming into the game.
Yeah. Now,
Checking for shots.
it's always good to do, just in case there's some strange thing.
Oh, and
That is
Ello.
no.
Sorry. Nien has the choice, red or green. Neither have taken any damage at this point. And because it's the only shot you've got, it's sort of, well...
Yeah, I can't remember which
who'd
one
you
I
go
go for here.
Ah,
I think maybe it's red because he has a better shot on Zay.
potentially,
Oh,
yeah.
I went for green. I went for green.
Possibly, I mean, it looks very close as to whether red does actually have a shot on Zay.
Oh, yeah, maybe I thought that she was clear.
Green
Oh,
definitely has
we only
the
recorded
shot.
this the other day, and I don't remember.
I mean, like we said, you've been to a Legion tournament since we recorded this.
Yeah, that was
so...
the whole thing.
And I mean, yeah. Oh,
But
that's a good shot.
3 attack dice and a calculate, and now I've still got the focus, which is always nice.
Ooh. So take the 2 shields, or taking the 2 shields. I agree. Actually, you're not going to get shot at again.
That evade
This turn.
being exchanged for the cloak is so valuable for these ships.
And keeping Juke live as well.
And
I think
and Juke as well, yeah.
So go with the yellow first, which I think is the longer range shot. So potentially trying to token strip there. Also knowing that green will definitely have a shot at Nien as well. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Natural triple crits.
Natural triple crits. And enough defense.
Yeah. Salty Juke? That's...
Spell.
wow.
I remember the ability? Do I? The hands on it, I can't remember if I do, because Zay, I think, should mean I can re-roll one of those.
I mean, either way, it would have... it could have made a difference. I don't think you remember the ability, unfortunately.
Oh, that's annoying. Again, new pilots, new abilities.
Yeah, new pilots, new abilities.
Why defend if the attacker is damaged? Although it's with the shield down,
it's not damaged. It's not damaged. Damaged is actually on the hull.
Yes, that's the difference.
So yeah, that's Zay Versio down with a crit. Can't see what it was because it's obviously quite faint, but when it's down, it doesn't really matter. But there is 4 points for Darren. That's really big. And yeah, here we go. Red is going to take a shot at Nien, and I think the red might have just been out on Zay. So good choice to use yellow first. The further away one. What are those dice?
They were mean.
Wow! 6 dice, 5 crits.
But that's still not bad for defense.
No.
Given the range of... Well, actually, no, Nien's already shot, hasn't he? So definitely spend
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah, so that's a shield down, and
now that
just clipping range 3.
I'm back up to 3 of 8 dice.
Yes. And there's another crit.
There is another crit.
Got the focus as well.
For me, all of the locks were on Zay, so there's currently no fire control system going on.
Oh, that's a good set of A's.
And it's up for the triple crits.
Yeah.
Juke going on, which is fair enough, but
you got to remember to do it. Wow. That was a bit of a brutal turn there. Those red dice for Darren were just incredible, but despite that, again, you were in such a good position. You've just snagged 4 objectives there.
Yeah, 9 was in range of, I think, all 3 of those around him.
Yeah. And Darren not quite close enough to contest any of them.
While Zay has gone down, 9 and Ello and Temmin are all kind of the bigger hitters of the list as well.
Yeah, they're the ones that you see either one of them in a list and you get a bit concerned by. You see all 3 of them in the list and you just think, oh no.
But I like flying Ello and 9 basically just because they are initiative 5.
I mean, yeah, their ability also helps.
Their abilities are great as well, but initiative 5 is, for me and how I like to play, just so valuable.
I mean, yeah, initiative 5 is good. I'm a big fan, if I'm running everything together, I'm a big fan of like the initiative 4 step. Because you can tend to get quite a lot of interesting abilities in initiative 4, and if you are trying to go higher initiatives with more than 2 or 3, it's very tricky to actually get that.
That's
initiative 4
why
is
I
quite
like having Zay here, because she is cheap.
Yeah. But those Sigmas have candy caned in to see if they can trap 9. But whilst we're waiting to see what the T70s are actually going to do in response, just want to remind you guys, if you do like what we're doing here at Out of Art Gaming, you can support us on Patreon. The link is in the description below. We've recently launched our Out of Art Gaming Discord server as well, where you can come and chat with us, share what you've been up to, and just have general discussions with us. Some of the guys are on there and they've been sharing some fantastic things they've been doing with their 3D printers, and it's been really cool to see. So if you want to be a part of that, click on the Patreon, sign up, and get access to our Discord.
Now, whilst the Phantoms are now facing in that direction, they have kind of ignored Ello.
Yeah, that could be a bad choice. I think it's tough though, because the position they were in.
I feel like that was the turn to split them up. Maybe.
Yeah. I think because if Darren can take out 9 this turn and not lose any of the Sigmas, it will stop you from winning this turn. Because you could get away with just, if you survive, you might just sneak 3 objectives there.
Also, the focus
Great barrel
roll. Oh, it's a red. 9 doesn't care. There goes that.
You may have actually even sneaked out of Yellow's arc there as well. 0 for a 1 bank on those Phantoms.
The only thing to really remember is that I still have to be close enough to Temmin to get the wings.
Yeah. And I don't think you're gonna.
That's what we were checking at this point. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember now, and it TTS didn't actually tell us.
Yeah, it doesn't ping friendly ships for range, so we zoomed in very close.
Yeah, and it was very clear that that is actually within range 3, so the wings can be triggered.
So all of the advanced optics shenanigans can continue.
Range 1 Predator, advanced optics, and
all the other shenanigans, yeah.
Yeah, that is just incredible. Just incredible.
I'm also really happy with my positioning for Temmin. Like, having that be close enough was some kind of miracle with how close it was. But having him turning around but getting an objective at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, the positioning of your T-70s to capture those objectives has been really good. Obviously, with Darren flying in the squadron, it's made it easy because there's been less contesting of objectives, but still, it has worked out really good for you. And I think you're targeting yellow there because of Predator, is that right?
I think I started off with Ello, who has the bullseye.
Must be Ello because he's only rolling 3.
And then Predator. And then no, this is 9. What?
That's not enough dice.
Yeah, I missed that.
Because, that's not enough dice. Because A, your wings are open, and B, even if they weren't, you're in bullseye.
Yeah, why didn't I roll an extra one there?
Not entirely sure, but looks like, causing the evade to be spent, so maybe that makes up for an additional dice. Finding it eventually. So that is one more shield down on yellow. Range 2 bullseye there.
Yeah, although red was closer, yellow was injured.
Yellow has no shields and no evade now as well, so is...
Yeah, the evade as well definitely made me target yellow down.
With a shot like that, I do not blame you.
And that focus and marksmanship for a crit.
Oh, and that is a Sigma squadron down. 6 huge points there. I mean, that is incredible.
I'm a bit annoyed at myself for forgetting it was a range 1 shot, but alright.
These things happen.
It happens, yeah.
These things do happen. I mean, as you said, you got that last shield down. You got rid of the evade, which would have saved Sigma if Yellow managed to trigger it because it was a loose stabilizer. Sneaking a range 3 there. Not even sneaking a range 3 through the rock from green into.
Yeah, it was
Temmin.
Weird because it was a Phantom shooting at something that isn't a Phantom, but the one ship that is not a Phantom had a lot of evade dice.
Yeah. Not a bad shot though, too.
Oh, look at all that! Oh, and then the Juke. Oh,
Juke.
And I didn't take the focus, so
no focus though. Yay! 2 shields on Temmin. I'm curious now as to whether Yellow would have had a shot onto 9. I think he might have done. But at this point, you need something very... I mean, that's not bad.
I mean, at this point, even if 9 does go down, I've got the points.
Yeah, you've got the points.
Like those early turns where I just got more objectives because Darren went around the side with the Phantoms, I think is really what did him in.
Yeah. It is a massive shame. I completely see what Darren was trying to do.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And if it wasn't for the fact that you'd set up in a firing line, I think it might have worked. But your firing line setup...
I mean, any firing line is scary.
Yeah. But for capturing those objectives, it was absolutely ideal for you. It worked out really in your favour, and Phantoms are just tough. I don't think this is the right kind of scenario for Phantoms. Chance engagement, they would have loved that, because that's more of a dogfight.
Particularly like salvage.
Oh, though they hate
They
salvage.
can't cloak or decloak when they're on, so...
Yeah, salvage is... I don't think many people like salvage, to be honest. It's a tough mission to fly.
I mean, these T-70s don't mind it. They don't... I mean, they can boost and they can barrel roll, but they don't rely on it that much.
Yeah, I suppose that is advantageous for them. But let's have a look at the end of that drubbing by the Resistance. Darren has a respectable 11 points there, and you scored a massive 26 points.
I think that's the most I've scored in a game.
Only 8 of those were actually ship kills as well. 18 points of that was for objectives.
Gotta play the objectives.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those examples, like, playing the objective. You can do it either way. Play the objectives, play for kills. I mean, you're over 2/3 of your points were kills there. Absolutely, objectives there. So really well flown. And again, just another example of how good the T-70s can be when you understand them and you're able to combo them with, I mean, Temmin's ability there was just such a good list.
Yeah, I'm really glad I've found this little combo. I'm disappointed that Poe can't fit, but you know what? You gotta make do with what you can.
I mean, hold up. I mean, Poe can't fit, but you've got Ello, you've got Nien, you've got Temmin, so...
Getting a third ship in addition to Temmin for Temmin's ability is what makes this whole thing work.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I might have to steal this list and give it a try and start seeing if I can get Resistance to work for me.
Try a few different talents on them, because it was strange flying without heroic, but I
mean, I'd be used to Predator. That's my bread and butter. Predator, Marksmanship, and Deadeye Shot are my 3 favoured ones. Other than Juke.
With heroic, you only reroll on 2 blanks, and they're rolling 3 attack dice and often just the 1 evade. So it didn't really seem like it was going to come into it too much.
Yeah, I mean, Predator worked. Predator worked in there though. We saw it triggered a few times, and again with the advanced optics, calculate, focus, it worked really well. So a solid list. So if anyone is looking for a Resistance list, give this a try. It's good fun.
And if you've got any questions about it, drop into our Discord and I'm sure I'll see the message.
Absolutely. But James, thank you very much for that wonderful display of flying and joining us for commentary tonight.
You're welcome.
And guys, thank you so much for watching. As you said, we've got plenty more videos coming up in the future, so don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.